A chilly morning on Camp Massatators, so we're getting a bit of a later start. Hopefully it'll warm up at some point, except I don't think it's warming up today. So,
warm up a little bit.
Day 6, we hide in the sleeping bags all day, and the camp host comes by to say hello, and maybe brings hot chocolate. Taters had a student who came through WTC who had hand sewn this fleece thing, decided she was never going to camp in the cold again, so Taters got it. So Taters is extra cozy. On the downside, it's kind of hard for her to get free. So if I was going to tickle her, now would be the time. Oh, wow. Mean in the morning. Ooh, so we can go to Peacock Slough. And yes, things froze last night, including Tater's face. It froze in that look of disapproval. Basically, this is just like Colorado. Aren't you glad? It's like Colorado, except we're also in a swamp. So we got here last night, and I came up to just make sure, like, this place was open, stuff like that. And I was reading one of the signs. Somebody came up behind me. There is actually a camp host. She was surprised to see us. She came up and went, "Oh, so I have crazy people tonight." She was busy, like, hardening the campground, trying to make sure the pipes wouldn't freeze and things like that. So all the faucets and sinks and things have actually been running all night. These river camps are free. You can leave a donation. They suggest like $5 a day, I think. But they are reservable, like all of these little treehouse things that Jen was calling them. The enclosures you can reserve except for one. They also have tent sites. Since we're not that worried about things being full right now, obviously we're not reserving anything. She said she had 1 or 2 people a night for the next couple of days. And then she had one time where almost all of them were full. But in general, it's not been a real busy time of the year. It is chilly, so we are not rushing out quite as early as we have on the previous days. You know, me being me, kind of similar to the tail end of the CDT, I do get a lot of enjoyment in being kind of off-season because we get these areas to ourselves. I don't mind being around other people. I like meeting other people. But, you know, you have folks showing up and, like, playing booming music and things like that I could really do without. So from here, there is actually another river camp in about 18 miles or so. We may end up there today. Again, we're not stressing too much about our mileage. 20 miles seems to be about reasonable. Yesterday, the wind slowed us down a little bit. Just combined that. The brakes were reasonable. We were hurting by the end of the day, but we're moving faster now. Jen in the back and me in the front seems to work better because I can, you know, deliver more power there. And then having to get through the rapids took a little while. These places do have hot showers, but neither of us really want to be wet now that we both have long hair. I didn't used to understand what Jen meant about that. So for the most part, Jen and I are pretty in sync on gear and everything. And where we're not, she's okay with going with my neurosis. See, like the, you know, purist thing. But she's spent a lot less time than me sustained on trails since she just does her summers. So I'm so wired that only carry what I can manage. I didn't bring a lot of extra clothing layers. I have enough, you know, I was able to survive Colorado like this. But she keeps going, no, we're in a boat. It's fine. You know, bring more stuff. I'll probably add a couple of extra layers when we're actually on the Mississippi, but we'll see. That'll probably be a little bit warmer. I thought you said there was no wind today. For the record, I objected to using this. We don't need it. All that work to get bags.
Oh, it's saving us a trip.
So the cart doesn't get you all the way to the beach. The cart gets you to here, and then you have to walk down the stairs anyway. So I was kind of wondering if we're going to see that, considering how warm the water was due to the air versus the air. But that does make me kind of sad, because you can see the wind blowing the opposite way. We need a wind blowing us out to the Gulf, I think.
That'd be nice.
And we are off. The host just came to give us some homemade food. So the sun feels really, very nice. We are very happy the sun is out, but yeah, that wind is bitterly cold. Per the weather, I think the high today on the last forecast I saw was 37. We don't have any internet right here. And then tomorrow it'll be back up into the 40s, and then we are through the worst of it, theoretically. Except it's me, so that's when the rain and the tornadoes and all of those start. Bundy, you look cold. So we resupplied at the Christian Village, but per the camp host, the thing to do is to use the ramp down here, and there's a Family Dollar and some other stuff that away. So Jen tends to really enjoy sections like this. I tend to feel like we're going really, really slow. And we're not, because if you look at the water right by us, we're actually moving at a decent pace. But anytime there's a large scale, you just don't feel like you're going. When we did the San Juan trip, we did a couple of big crossings between islands, and it felt like it took forever, at least to me. I like progress.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I mean, it started getting more exciting once the wind nearly blew us out to the ocean. That was a lot more fun. My right forearm has had some like tendon inflammation going on for a while. And paddling seems to be setting it off. So we're switching so I can act more as rudder here. Because that is a problem. If you have a tendon issue, that is one of those like trip ender sort of issues. But hey, better here than on the Mississippi. There are all sorts of really, really cool springs out here. We're not stopping at a lot of them, partially because we've been to some, and partially just because we have to keep a schedule. Taters decided she wanted to come see the spring. Really cool, also really cold. Go ahead, strip down, jump in. Go on, for the Instagram. So we've been diving in, I think, 3 different springs out here, and they're really cool. We haven't dove at this one yet. Go ahead, go rent some gear. We can go in here. It's warmer than the air, probably. Yeah, it was chilly last night. It's chilly. This is Lafayette Blue Spring. Okay, so we've been fairly lucky about not having a wake zone, but I guess there you go, huh? It's a little colder than people were expecting, so not everybody winterized before the cold. Kind of glad we had a short day, because once the sun goes down, it's going to get really cold again. Yeah. Keep telling Jen if this was on the side of the road, I'd call somebody. I don't know who we can call here. These houses seem empty. And after a long, calm day, we did have one more little ripple, but it was nuttin'. Oh, Blondie, I leave you driving and now we're going sideways? So the wind hasn't been too bad. It is just cold. My foot warmers are not quite keeping up with the temperature here. You know what Jen likes? Bridges. So this is where we plan to stop. It's the 18-mile mark at Peacock Slough River Camp. We have noticed that there are not nearly as many campsites available on public land. So we're kind of wishing we'd done more sandbars up north. The Florida trail camps were nice though.
I like the Florida trail camps.
I know, but the sandbar camps were really cool also. Especially since we didn't have to worry about the water going up like 2-3 feet like at Black Canyon. Okay, found the host. He said that this guy is going to have the best morning sunlight. Also, there is nobody else in the campground, and he said it's gonna get cold, bro. Okay, so we found out that a very nice person has left us cold beer and a bag off in the woods. Oh, if my toes will thaw out enough to walk. So sadly, I guess this camp is paddle access only. So our friend had to leave the stuff. So I'm doing a hike to go get the things on very frozen toes. These hand warmers only last, you know, about 4 hours. They claim 6, but it's closer to 4. And so my toes are quite frozen here. Hopefully this is the worst day temperature-wise. So it is very cold, but Taters is stripping down because now we have Christmas wine. Christmas is saved, and cookies.
We are all settled in at the Peacock Slough River Camp and ready for another very cold night. We had a river angel drop us off some treats earlier, so we're looking forward to enjoying those and getting warm and cozy. Home sweet home for the night.